everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Your Manchester with me, Ms. Belinda Scandal.
And me, Mr. Mark Llewellyn.
How are you?
I'm well, and
We've
you?
both been away.
We have.
Not that anybody will know, because it was seamless. The fact I was here.
You covered for us.
Yeah, I covered for us. Yes, I was away in a place called Turkey.
Oh, yes. Isn't that where they pump it all away?
What, Turkey? Yes. Although I did get it wrong. I thought I was going to the English Riviera, but apparently that's Torquay. So I messed up. I thought it was funny when I went on a plane, though. I thought that was strange. And you've been all over the shop.
I've been all over, yes, with Canadian Coronation Street fans.
I can't believe this Canadian. You don't think of people from out of this country being into Corrie, do you?
Well, it's shown all over the world, you see. Yeah, this year was my 28th year of looking after Canadian fans.
And what does that entail you doing then?
So every day I take them around filming locations and tell them how the show is all put together and talk about all the cast. And then we go to the studios and they get to visit all the sets and things like that and have dinners with surprise appearances from cast members.
All right. So who did you have this year then?
So we had Jane...
It is a yearly thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who did you have this year?
So we had Jane Hazelgrove.
Oh, she's played a corker.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She's good fun as well. And we also had our friend.
Oh.
Miss Barbara Knox.
I'd like to thank her for my new hair. Thank you. She didn't need this one, did she?
And this week she's been 91. She was 91 on Monday.
She's fabulous. Yes, definitely fabulous. Listen, we talk about big birthdays and things. We've got to mention, of course, the fact that a homegrown invention is 130 this year.
Yes, many happy returns, my love.
Thank you. We are, of course, referring to Marks and Spencer's.
Oh, is that what it was? Sorry,
yes.
I put my foot in it yet again.
Marks and Spencer's.
Marks and Spencer's, yes.
130 years old. Now, listen, Marks was the first one before Spencer, or was it Spencer before Marks? How did it happen?
So, so Michael Marks came over from Poland.
Right.
He couldn't speak English.
No relation to Karl Marx?
No.
Oh, right.
No,
okay.
it's spelled differently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he couldn't speak English, didn't have any capital, and he moved to a place called Stockton-on-Tees.
Oh, la voix.
Yeah, and he got married there.
Right.
And then moved to Leeds, set up a market stall in Leeds Market. So
in
that
Leeds?
was the first place. Yeah, and it was like a penny bazaar, everything a penny.
Now, he did that for a reason, though, didn't he? He did that because he couldn't be... no, he couldn't... Let me think, this is my bit of information that I retained. There was a reason he'd done that, because of his language. That was it, because of his language. So he put everything. Don't bother asking the price, everything's a penny.
Exactly that, exactly. And then Tom Spencer was born in Skipton, and he moved to Leeds to become like a wholesaler, and they met, they became good friends, and then they went into business.
But wasn't there somebody before Spencer? I'm sure there was somebody before.
There?
Yes, there was somebody before Spencer, but the guy in that I mentioned, who was going to be part of Marx's thing, he didn't have the money behind him, so he passed him over to his friend, which happened to Mr. Spencer.
It's like the fourth Beatle, isn't it?
Isn't it? There you are. See, so there's somebody sat at home, a whole dynasty of family that are
who
sadly
missed out
missing
on
out.
owning Marks and Spencer's.
I know.
Yeah, and at one time, you know, their head office was in Derby Street in Manchester.
Yeah. Yeah. Quite near to the Jewish quarter as well,
That's
weren't
right,
they?
yeah.
Which is fabulous. I love that street anyway.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing some more with the Jewish Museum very, very soon.
Oh, yeah, it's very good.
Look forward to. But on tonight's show, everybody, we are speaking to a lovely lady called Stephanie Reynolds. Now, she's Manchester born and bred, and she has brought out a lovely play called Denisha. And it's absolutely wonderful. It's filled with heart and everything. I was lucky enough to speak to her just a little while ago.
Right, very good.
As well as speaking to, have you heard of an author called Terry Pratchett?
Yes.
Well, there's a lovely play and a talk and an evening going on from a gentleman called Mark Burrows.
Right.
And he's brought a lovely talk out, and he's going to be doing that at home very, very soon.
Oh, very
and if that's not enough, it's like I bumped into my sister today. There's a lovely drag queen known as Ginger Johnson.
Yes, I saw her,
Ginger Johnson. Well, she's reinventing herself, and I got to speak to her a little bit a while ago as well, yes.
Reinventing herself how?
She's up there now. She thinks she can do just as well as the likes of Taylor Swift. So with that, all I say is, this is how your show's looking. Now, listen, Box of Tricks is delighted to bring us a brand new show to the Lowry. Now, there's a wonderful writer from Manchester called Stephanie Reynolds, and she's exploring all sorts of different stories within this, including queer culture, black culture. It is absolutely brilliant.
Okay.
I'm really into this one, and I really wanted you to, have a look at this
your
interview.
sort of thing.
Yeah. Stephanie, how are you?
Good, thank you. Happy to be here.
Sounds like one of the amazing shows that's managed to come to our lovely region, but it's even more better because you are a lovely person from our Manchester region.
I am indeed. Manchester born and bred, South
Whereabouts
Manchester.
in Manchester?
Longside.
Oh, it's nice there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, Denisha, tell us all about it. What is it, please?
Denisha, she's my baby. She is 3 years in the making. It is a play about a young mixed race girl, 17. She's from Preston, lives with her dad, and thinks, at the beginning of the play, she believes that she's happy despite not fitting in and liking things that are different to her friends, not looking like anyone around her. And then everything changes when she has a night out in Manchester.
Oh, and what are we allowed to talk about? What happens in that night out in Manchester?
I mean, I don't want to give it away.
No, well then don't.
But yeah, I guess what it is that meeting this person makes her challenge herself around her identity of who she is. Because I think it's not until she meets someone that she can relate to that she realizes there's so much about herself that she doesn't know.
So it's a story about discovering oneself then. How important and how much does that relate to yourself in kind of putting this together?
Well, I guess it's like that kind of teenage story of, coming of age story of feeling like you don't fit in. And I think what's so lovely about this play is so many people can relate to it. It's just about not fitting in. So, in Denisha's experience, it's race. But I think also if you're neurodivergent, I think you'll be able to relate to this. I think if you're working class and you've been in middle class areas, you'll be able to relate to this. It's just about feeling uncomfortable and different, but by the end of the play we're going to celebrate those differences.
Well, it sounds like there's lots and lots of layers within this then. I mean,
absolutely.
How did you come about putting this story together?
Gosh, so 3 years ago I was part of Box of Tricks Playbox year-long scheme where you get a year to write a play and it has a rehearsed reading at the end. And it was just after COVID, it was 2021. So I knew after having a year stuck inside, I knew that I wanted to write something that was fun and joyful and had lots of music and dancing. So expect lots of that with Denisha because, I just wanted to create something that was fun. And then also everything that I was exposed to regarding Black history, Black culture on stage and on film was to do with our trauma and our pain and our history. And so I was really conscious about putting something on there that was going to be more joyful and that celebrates us and who we are. And yeah.
It sounds absolutely perfect. Like I said, I don't know if it made it to air, but right at the very beginning of our interview today, I said to you, this is one that I really wanted to cover because I think it's rare in the fact that it covers so many different topics, but also really pulls at the heart, but not just in a sad way, but in a joyful, like you say, in an expression kind of way.
Yeah, I think, honestly, it's funny, you're going to laugh, but there's definitely some tear-jerking moments where, it's like, oof, it's just really lovely. It's really special. It's so important to me. The cast are amazing. The cast are so good. Talia, who plays Denisha, she's absolutely fantastic. That's so important. When you're a writer, you're like, well, this is how it is in my head. But just the cast and the director being able to execute it as well as they have is even better.
This is Denisha, and it's going to be an laureate till the 5th. Thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you
so much. Lovely to meet you.
Now, a new series of RuPaul's Drag Race UK has just started, hasn't it? I don't know if you saw it because you were abroad.
Actually, I sat on the sun lounger outside the villa, and I was enjoying it. And I was surprised to see that I think 5 of them or 6 of them are from Manchester.
Yes, but have you ever heard of any of them?
No, But if they say they're from Manchester, then they say they're from Manchester. There's that many different cultures of drag in Manchester, and I'm sure that's probably what's happened. It's just in my 27 years of being on them cobbles, I've not actually run into any of them. Apart from Saki Yu.
Oh, right, yes.
Which, of course, used to work on Your Manchester as our makeup expert right at the very beginning.
Oh, really?
Yes, many years ago. 7 years ago, 6 years ago. Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, listen, but one of my favourites has always been, because she's full of character, a character called Ginger Johnson.
Oh, yes, very good.
Now, she's setting about to reinvent herself at the moment. Oh, right. Yes, she is. And luckily, I was given a nice interview with her, and that's how it looks. Joining us now is Ginger Johnson. Hello and welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you, my love?
I'm having a lovely day. I'm just sat in my house, not doing much. You've probably had a non-stop day of doing press, have you?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing, but it's fun. I like talking to people, so this is ideal for me.
Well, listen, you're talking to people because you're doing a remarkable, wonderful show. Tell us more about the show.
So my show's called Ginger Johnson Blows Off, and it's all about me chasing a new dream. So it was a dream of mine for years and years and years to get on Drag Race, and once that dream came true, it gave me the opportunity to find a new dream, and my new dream is to be a daredevil. So this show is all about me doing a series of highly dangerous and highly ridiculous stunts in pursuit of becoming Britain's most dangerous woman.
Well, this sounds like you're trying to sort of reinvent yourself now then. Is that true?
Yeah, why not? I mean, doing drag is so you're just constantly reinventing yourself, aren't you? Every morning I wake up, I'm trying to reinvent myself.
I'm just grateful if I wake up, I'll be honest with you. Listen, where did drag start for you?
Oh, drag started in pantomimes for me. You know, all the way back when I was a kid, I used to love going to pantomimes. And I always loved the pantomime dame because she had the best jokes, she had the best outfits, and she got the biggest round of applause at the end of the night. So, and I thought, I want me some of that. And yeah, ever since then, that's it. I've been obsessed. That's been my mission in life.
So let's cut to the chase then. Drag Race is back on TV. For me, drag, it's fair to say, has changed an awful lot. It's not as... well, let's just say it's not as character and comedy based anymore. It's not about having fun. It's about looking your absolute prime filteredness self. How do you feel drag has changed in the last few years?
Well, I must say, you look absolutely beautiful and in prime filteredness right now. So I think you're doing incredibly well. I think it's changed in lots of different ways, and you know, all art forms change as time goes on. I think the amazing thing that Drag Race does is it puts stories of queer people thriving into people's living rooms. Which, when I was young and realizing myself as a queer person growing up, there wasn't anything like that existed. You know, there were only ever negative stories about queer people in the press or jokes about gay people on TV. And I think the amazing thing that Drag Race does is that it offers a different version of events. You know, it shows queer people thriving, talking about their lives, having conversations about what it's like to come out, what it's like to live your life as a gay person. And I think that's crucial, not just for young queer people to hear that, but also for their parents and other straight people out there to learn about that kind of side of queer life. So I think it's really important.
Lovely. And listen, styles and looks, you always go for a ginger. Is there a reason you went for ginger?
Yes, there is. So I'm really inspired by Lucille Ball. She's one of my absolute heroes. I love everything about her. I love the glamour. I love the comedy. I love the costumes. And long time ago, an old friend of mine, a costume maker, told me this story about how when Lucille Ball first got her contract in Hollywood, she had brown hair and she was very tall. So they kept standing her in the back of the chorus line because she stuck out too much to do anything else. And somebody in the wardrobe department said to her, if you dye your hair bright orange, they'll have to give you a speaking part because they won't be able to hide you in the back of the chorus. So she did, and then she got this part playing a drunk in a show, and that's what sort of pushed her into superstardom. Now, I have since learned that story is a load of rubbish. It's not true at all, but it did give me the impetus. I thought, you know, if I'm going to follow in Lucille Ball's footsteps. I'm going to have the ginger hair. And it also meant, back in the day when I first started in clubs, so another old friend of mine told me that, part of your job is that people should be able to see you across from the other side of the club, and maybe not even the front of you. They should see the outline and colors of you and know who you are. And that's how you're going to stake your claim in the drag scene. And so I took that look and I stuck with it, so that's why I'm ginger all the time.
And that's my exact point, you see. A lot of these drag queens these days, they don't know what character is, whereas you've just hit the nail on the head there, which is fabulous, which is important and wonderful.
Thank you.
What are we getting to hear your lovely voice on the stage?
Yes, I've got a couple of songs in the show written by me and my lovely friends Bourgeois Maurice, who are an amazing cabaret duo.
We've had them on the show, yes.
Yeah, they're brilliant. I've known them a long time, and we've done a couple of shows and bits together before, but we sort of wrote the songs for the show together. So I've got 2 numbers in the show, sort of bookend the show with two big 80s queer power ballad style numbers.
Now, just before we let you go, how has life changed for you since being on Drag Race?
Oh, it's absolutely wild. It's wild. I'm having the best time. I'm getting to meet so many people who love drag and whose drag is a big part of their life. And I'm getting to travel a lot and speak to lovely people like you. So, my life has changed and it feels really, really good.
Well, it sounds absolutely fantastic. Now, when is this coming to us then, Ginger?
I am coming to Home Manchester on Friday, the 22nd of November, and it's the last night of my tour, so it's going to be a wild one.
We are looking forward to this very, very much. You're one of them rarities that's managed to work their way through the drag world and actually retain what I class as proper drag flower.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
So I'll have to come and watch this now, won't I? That's me going out again. Honestly, I'm never in these days. Honestly, it's ridiculous. I tell you, I have to go watch yet another show. I look forward to it. For now, though, Ginger, thank you so much for your time. So the careers woman said to me when I was at school, you could either be a policeman or you could be a dustbin man thing. And I said, right, fair enough, because I wanted to be what did you want to be when you were younger?
I wanted to be a TV presenter.
Did you?
It didn't work.
No,
I'm afraid.
And what do you want to be when you grow up?
Retired. What did you like about the bin lorries? Did you like it, the beeping when it reversed?
It was beeping, but just as I was getting to a certain age, thinking about a career, they brought out the motorised ones.
Oh, wow, lovely.
Yeah, where it proper lifted it up,
I could
tilted
see you
it
doing
up.
that.
Yeah, and then they brought out different coloured bins.
Oh, God.
And I'm all for different colours.
Yes, you are. You like a bit of diversity in your
I
vintage.
love it. Honestly, I love it. I do. Listen, have you ever been reading the books of Terry Pratchett?
I've not read the books, but I've seen some of the TV adaptations, the Discworld ones, yes.
Well, there's one man that's absolutely been obsessed with him for many, many years.
Right.
Understandably so, because I think some of his works are fantastic.
Yeah.
His name's Mark Burrows.
Right.
Now, he's bringing, once again, to the theatre a wonderful night of celebrating the work of Terry Pratchett.
Ooh.
And his legacy, of course, as well, because, he did a lot.
Well, he raised a lot of issues, and of course he had Alzheimer's, didn't he?
He did.
He made a couple of films, didn't he, to highlight Alzheimer's, the effect on the body. Ooh, sounds a great evening, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Anyway, I had an interview with Mark Burrows.
Ooh.
This is how it looks. And joining us now is Mr. Mark Burrows. Welcome to the show, Mark. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. It's Monday, but I'm handling it.
Yes, and Mark Burrow, you bring us a wonderful situation about one of my favourite authors, Mr. Terry Pratchett. Why for you are you so invested within him?
I think it's because I've been reading his stuff for so long, like almost my entire life. I first got into his books when I was 12 in 1993. Please don't do the maths. And I'm aware I have a much better face than I deserve, considering my age. I don't even moisturize conventionally, but I've been reading his work for so long, and he wrote so much. So my entire life I was reading his stuff. He died in 2015 and he wrote 59 novels. And there was at least 2 out every year from the age of 12 for me until then. And I think he just became such a huge part of my life. And then, of course, I wrote a book about him. And that kind of, when you write a book about somebody, you just you become sort of tied to them.
Yeah.
So, and I just feel like there's something about the way Terry viewed the world, the way he could make the ordinary completely extraordinary and the completely ridiculous completely ordinary, and say profound and stupid things at exactly the same time, because life is profound and life is stupid and life is silly and life is clever and ugly and brilliant all at the same time. And his books did that. And that's always just really meant something to me.
So obviously then, as you released more and more books, you became more and more invested in him. Was there a particular facet of his writing that you really honed in on and thought, that's what really leaps out to you?
Well, the sense of humor, obviously. I mean, Terry was always funny. He always said that he never liked being judged as being funny. People throughout his career would look down on Terry for being fantasy and for being comedy. And he always said that life is fantastic. There's fantasy all around us, and fantasy can do brilliant things. And life is funny. And the opposite of funny isn't serious. The opposite of funny is not being funny. And you can be funny and serious in the same books. And that's what he did. And he was also incredibly human. Like, he understood humans better than anyone else I've ever read. I can't think of another writer who can be as stupid and as profound in the same work. And I can't think of another writer who could write so much humanity and understand how people work in the same space as writing incredible fantasy as well. And his books were about wizards and about dwarves and about talking rats, but those wizards and dwarves and talking rats and skeletons were people. They were real people, and that's why those books worked. So the best-selling author of his generation, it wasn't just niche nerds reading this stuff. Everyone could relate to it, and that's why he was popular, and I think that's why it kind of catches so well. So I've tried to write a show that means something as well and honors that intention, but does so whilst, as Terry did, being really funny all the way through. He was his last book, his very last novel he wrote, The Shepherd's Crown, has one of the most moving death scenes I've ever read from any character in any book of any character, and it also has a bit with cross-dressing lumberjacks. He never stopped that absurdity, and but he never stopped that meaning and that power as well.
We're looking forward to this. 4th of October, I believe it is, at the Waterside Arts.
It is.
It's going to be good. It's got to be good. For now, though, Mark Burrows, thank you so much for your time.
Brill. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So there you go.
Oh, is that marvellous?
Doesn't that look fantastic? I'm looking forward to that one very, very much. Listen, we've got a lot of nice shows coming up over the course of the next few weeks.
Have we?
We have indeed, yes. We've got loads.
I get told nothing, me.
No, well, I don't actually know either, but I'm pretending we've got a load of good shows coming up, which I'm sure they're going to be good, though.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
But do you know what's even better?
What?
The podcasts.
Oh, yes, with Uncle Stephen.
Uncle Stephen doing the podcast. This week, of course, he had Ashley on. Ashley Stone.
Yeah, well, we'd apologise for that.
Yeah.
Because the camp levels would be very high on that.
It's a good job we're Butch, isn't it?
Yes.
Right.
I mean, do we listen to the podcast?
Of course I do, every week. Now, with that said, everybody, I am being told in my ear.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there's a bee in my
You're
ear.
hearing voices in your head again.
God. I'm here because we've not touched on religion today, have we? We've touched on everything else, but no religion.
No religion today.
I don't want to make myself cross. Listen, what we're going to do now is we are going to say ta-ta-ta, bye-bye.
Are we?
Yes, I thought we'd mix it up.
Have a lie down.
Do you have a lie down?
I'm ready for a lie down.
You're on your love seat.
I know, it's not big enough for me to lie down on here, I'm afraid.
I'm quite comfy on here.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
It's nice.
And if we get any more comments to say that I look like Rita, we're having words. I don't think I look like her at all this week.
No, I don't think so.
It's ridiculous.
Yes,
Yes, we are
a
going.
mother, maybe.
Hey, podcast, everybody, check it out, and also the website, and keep finding out what's going on, because there's lots going on.
Oh, there is, whether you like it or not.
Exactly. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Your Manchester.